What's good, Lakers Corner family? Before we get to the episode, did just want to let y'all know that we did record this before the Austin Reaves injury news came out. Unfortunately, Austin Reaves got diagnosed with a grade 2 left oblique strain and is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks, which basically means he's going to miss the entire first round, which us now having Luka also out for indefinitely with that hamstring absolutely just screws us over. In the episode, you'll hear me and Junior talk about how we could potentially get out of the first round without Luka Dončić, but just Austin Reaves and just LeBron. But now with this update of Austin Reaves, truthfully, I don't believe that we can get out of any first round, nor can we beat any team without AR and Luka Dončić. Lakers Nation, this is absolutely devastating news. This is absolutely devastated my weekend, broke my heart, and honestly, I'm still trying to figure out how to process this. Lakers Nation, I just want to let y'all know, man, but hope y'all enjoyed this episode with my brother Junior. What's good, Lakers Corner family, and welcome back to the Lakers Corner, where we talk all things Lakers. As always, I'm your host, John. Very happy to be here, man. Today is Saturday, April 4th, man. Happy Easter. I don't know when y'all going to be hearing this. And big shout out to Jesus. Good Friday just yesterday. And also, big shout out to the other big homie, man. Not as big as Jesus, but my big brother, the one and only, man, Junior. We got a real special guest with us here today. Junior, what's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Been looking forward to this episode, man, all week. So it's gonna be a good one. We're getting down to crunch time. Best time for not just for basketball, but for sports. You know, I'm a sports aficionado, and like we got Premier League coming to an end. Unfortunately, not going so great, but it's okay. But we got like soccer coming to an end soon. We've got hockey getting to the playoffs. Basketball, Formula One is back, MotoGP is back. We're at a good spot right now. Baseball starting back up. Like it's a great time for sports, but most importantly, what we're here for, Lakers playoff basketball. Ooh-wee. It's a great time of the year, man. It's
It
a great
is.
time of the year.
So it is a great time of the year thinking, Lakers are, top 3 seed, getting into playoffs and all that. But I think, well, let's just go ahead and get into the episode because what's not a great time of the year is, we always like to start with news and injuries. Is the big
Yeah,
news, the biggest unfortunate news that we just seen happen 2 days ago. 2 days
man.
ago on April 4th against Oklahoma City Thunder. Luka Dončić went down with a hamstring injury, eventually got diagnosed with a grade 2 left hamstring strain and is now out indefinitely. So yes, it is all great that Lakers basketball is great, top 3 seed, playoffs are right around the corner. But man, losing your star player, a couple with playoffs right around the corner is not
Brutal.
the
Brutal.
best news here for us for Lakers Nation here. So let's go ahead and start with that. Let's talk about just kind of that injury, how you feel like that's going to affect the Lakers. I guess I'll just throw it there to you. See, you tell me how you feel about that.
So not even, I mean, you said losing your best player, but losing your best player is one thing. Losing the best player in the league is another, and that's what just
Right.
happened to the Lakers. The MVP favorite. I mean, if you don't it, at this point, if you don't have Luka as your MVP favorite, you just haven't been watching basketball. It's really that simple at this point. This man's been
Mhm.
absolutely on a tear, and now those who didn't believe it are going to see it. The drop off without Luka is going to be significant. I am not kidding when I say this, and you and I talked about this when we were watching the Thunder game together on Thursday. I was like, man, our team we've been healthy for a while on a good run. I mean, we were 15-2 in March, which was arguably one of the toughest months for our schedule, if not the toughest month for our schedule. 15-2. And that's literally the team just being together, healthy for a while. I mean, remember, we didn't get to even see LeBron, Luka, and Austin share a court until basically about a month, 2 months ago, right? Like it's been crazy, and I was like, man, we've been on a good run, and boom, Luka gets it was a non-contact too, which is like you see those, you're just like, oh man, like that's when it's non-contact, that's a couple of weeks injury minimum,
Yeah.
and turns out it's a grade 2 strain,
Mhm.
and that is going to keep him out indefinitely. So it's like, look, for the rest of the regular season, not that I don't care, but it doesn't matter much. I think what we're I don't think we're going to fall past the 4th seed, to be completely honest with you. So it's just whether we're going to play the 5th seed or the 6th seed at this point. What I am just caring about is I really want a favorable first round matchup so we can hopefully just buy as much time as possible and see Luka back this postseason. So terrible news. Like
Terrible.
honestly, it's Luka was carrying the team, and it's just not that like without Luka, DeAndre Ayton takes a step down. Jackson Hayes takes a huge step down, right? And like we'll get into other players that can fill that role a little bit later. Obviously LeBron and Luka have a very similar skill set, but they're at two different points of their careers right now. But this one hurts. This one hurts.
This one hurts. So with Luka being out indefinitely, we have 5 more games left. We have the Mavericks tomorrow. We have tomorrow being, I guess, April 5th, and then we have OKC again on the 7th. We have the Warriors on the 9th, and then we have the Suns on the 10th. And then the last game of the season is against the Jazz. So 5 games. So again, if I'll read that off to you, that's Mavs, Thunder, Warriors, Suns, and Jazz. How many do you see as realistically winning of those?
At least two. I think like something like, and probably it's going to be like Mavericks and Jazz, to be honest with you. At least 2. And then I think out of the other remaining 3, probably 1 more out of those. So I think we'll go 3-2. I think it's doable. I think with our team, it's doable. I need to see where the Thunder are at as far as locking down the first seed. Because, I mean, you saw when they're playing for something, they can really put their foot on anybody's throats. But when they're not playing for something, it's like the first seed. It's going to make a big difference, So if they're not playing for first seed anymore, I think we could win that game. But and the same thing like with the Warriors. I think the Warriors are like locked in a 10th. Like it doesn't matter how many games they win, how many games they lose. I have to see where Steph's at with his recovery. I think he's been out for a while. I don't even know if he's going to be back this season. So it's so I think 3 wins.
And the only thing I would add is like, even if OKC's got it locked, I mean, we seen what they were doing to us in that third quarter. They were up, it was like 60 to like 112 or something, and they were still pressing us at half court. They still had their best defenders out there. So even if
that's what they do.
That's what they do. They locked in. They might.
Honestly, you're right. I probably and without Luka too.
They're like, it was like we might still put it on them. Yeah, no, man. It's tough, man. I would agree. I think that we can win 3. I think we can win the Mavericks. I think we can win the Warriors game, and then I think we can win the Jazz game. That Suns and Thunder might be a little difficult. But it's really hard to with basketball, especially with where the league is right now. Like you could have a bench player that you didn't even think would go off, can absolutely go off on one night and get a win, because that's how good basketball is right now. A bench player can come off the bench and absolutely catch fire and help you win just a single game. But yeah, man, I mean, and
that's what OKC is so good at. They literally like. I think it's so interesting. We saw the difference, and we were talking about this, the difference that Marcus Smart makes to our team, right? When we're saying not that he'd be the X factor between us not losing by 43 to the Thunder or winning the game, but but you see the difference that he makes, like not having someone out there on the court that has a skill set.
The best primary defender. I mean, we could cut it however we want. He's our best primary defender without a doubt. Even if he's old, even if he's coming off the injury, still our best primary defender.
That's at least serviceable.
Not primary, perimeter.
And that's at least serviceable on the offensive end too, because I always like to give Vandy his flowers on defense, but that boy has got no offensive bag.
Boy's got no bag,
with all due respect. But I think like what we're talking about with Marcus Smart, the difference that he makes. And OKC has like 8 Marcus Smarts, and it's just crazy. It's crazy that it's just like that. Those are the players that they. That's the style of basketball they play. They keep their foot on the neck, even if they're up by 40.
And their Marcus Smart in the first quarter, Lou Dort went 4 for 4 from the 3-point line in that game. So it was all downhill from literally the tip off. I seen these comments. Somebody left a comment on my 3-minute game recap. It said it was close, and then the game started, and I was like, yeah, basically,
very true, very true.
But
it was only closed at 0-0.
Exactly. That was literally the only, and then they went on that. They started the game on a 9-2 run. We never lost lead after that. But all right, so let's keep it pushing. Let's talk about some other news. This is not as sad. This is actually pretty happy. Luka Dončić, absolutely historic month of March. We just wrapped up March here. He averaged for the month of March 37 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and he closed out the month of March with 7 40-point games and a total of 600 points. That is the highest scoring month by a Laker since Jerry West back in 1965. And what happened as a result of that? Lakers were 15-2 in March, and we also helped JJ Redick finally hit his 50 win 2 seasons back to back 50 wins. So I just wanted to, I guess, touch on that a little bit because I know, I mean, it's more of a history type thing, but just pointing it out because that's absolutely insane. Like, I think the next highest was Kobe. Kobe had like, I think it was like 598 or something like that. But Luka ends up having an absolutely historic month of March, scoring 600 points. Don't know if you want to touch anything on that. He also was named Player of the Month, deservingly so.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. No, he I mean, so it's Luka and JJ
Yeah.
both, but Luka, I mean, it's incredible what this guy is doing. And we kept saying that, like, look, let's just get him a whole year as a Laker, like get him some more time as a Laker, and what he's doing is incredible. I mean, he's just consistent, not just on the scoring front, because you said like 37 points is impressive, but like he's doing it, he's gathering triple doubles, he's rebounding, he's providing assists, he's elevating the ceilings of other players, like we said, like DA, like Jackson Hayes. He's elevating these ceilings, and I mean, that's just what he's doing out there is incredible. More than just scoring, but just providing for the team, helping the team out. And I've seen him like die for loose balls. I seen like like I love that that in him. Obviously, he's got a ways to go on defense, but I think that's more just the way that he's built more than anything. But no, I like to see the effort. I like to see the scoring, and for a while there, like when he was on that 15th tech about to get to 16, he was actually on pretty good behavior too, until he got that tech before the Wizards game. But like we and I talked about off camera, strategic, and it worked. It was a gamble that paid off. It worked out perfect. Because we missed him for a game, and we still won the game. And JJ too, like with him getting 2 back-to-back, first time since Phil Jackson to have 2 50-win seasons back-to-back. I think that's awesome, man, because you remember all the noise that came when we hired him. This guy had only coached his son's like 5th grade basketball team, and it's like now he's like, no college, no high school coaching experience, nothing, just straight to the NBA. And people are like, can he even do this? It's different in the NBA. And he's always been a player that's like a high IQ player, throughout his whole playing career. So like, I had no doubt that he had the basketball knowledge to be a great coach, but being a great coach is more than basketball knowledge. It's player management, it's team management. There's a lot of layers to being a great coach. And I'm not going to say he's a great coach yet. Obviously, that takes years and you've got to prove it through a resume, but he's on his way. He's doing really good. I'm happy we have him, after rotating between the Darvin Hams and just cycling coaches. It's been, honestly, since really, I mean, I'm not going to disrespect Frank Vogel because we did win a title with him, but I was going to say since Phil Jackson, like it's just been rotating and rotating. Coaches,
Yeah.
Big shout out Frank Vogel, 2020 champion. But it's I'm happy we see how the league caught up to Frank Vogel, and I'm happy that now we're stable in a place that we need to be at.
So 2 things on that. Real quick on Frank Vogel. I think the Lakers as an organization failed him because he is a defensive-minded coach. And when we won the championship, we had a defensive-minded team. And then the next year, we got away from all that. And LeBron literally even said in an interview, and we're moving away from trying to hold teams to under 100, and we're trying to outscore teams. And then that's when we brought in Trevor Ariza and Melo and all that. And then that's when it really went downhill. I just don't think the player personnel matched the coaching personnel. But about JJ though. So, okay, he, first 2 years, both 50-win seasons, he, hits his first 100 wins as a head coach. I want to ask, how much do you think is him as the coach, and how much do you think is him having LeBron, Luka, and AD? I mean, throughout these 2 years, right? Whether I know it was AD for a little bit, but he's had LeBron, Luka, and AD. Those are 3 Hall of Fame players without a shadow of a doubt. One is literally the greatest player of all time. So, to you, like, how much do you think is JJ Redick's coaching versus having the great players on the court?
Having great players on the court is a huge crutch. I can't agree with that more. And I don't want to flip flop myself and say, because I said that a lot. I said that about Steve Kerr. I say you put me to coach that Warriors team, I get you 73 wins,
Mhm.
right? So and obviously,
Yeah, no, I
I
hear
say that,
what you're saying.
yeah, but and we saw with Luke Walton was actually a great example. Remember, he filled in for Steve Kerr. He went like 15-0 or something
Yep.
like that. They're like, this guy's the next prodigy. Went to coach the Lakers, ass. Went to I don't even think he's not. I think he's like an assistant coach in the league now,
Yeah.
which like no slide. It's not easy to be a head coach in an NBA team, but I think it helps. But particularly, I think having LeBron helps. In my opinion, the smartest player of all time, the highest IQ player of all time on the team with like his mind is incredible with how he can read plays, how he can a lot of it is experience too, but how he develops as a player. So I think having guys like that, like LeBron, like Luka, help a ton. But it's they're just I still think JJ as a coach has a role to play there. But I'm gonna say right now, I am leaning more towards players. Like I'd say probably like 60-40 more having a great roster than him being a great coach. But like I said, I think he is on his way. And I think, we're going to see that develop. Now is a great example. Like, what is he going to do now without Luka? How is he going to adjust? Because I think the biggest gripe I had with JJ last year, I didn't think he was good at in-game adjustments. And I saw that this year as well. At some points, I was like, man, like I feel like he drafted up a game plan and he's gonna stick with that game plan no matter what's happening out there. And I don't think that's the best thing to do. I think one of the best skills you can have as a coach is your adaptability. I saw him sometimes. I'm like, oh, he's getting better at adapting. He's getting better at making changes. But sometimes I see Jake LaRavia out there, and I'm like, man, that's Rui's spot. Like, we need some buckets. And I have Jake LaRavia out there just breaking threes. And that's a shot that like Rui needs to take. I don't remember who we were playing, but it was one time. It was the last shot of the game. Jake took the three, and when Rui was on fire that game, right? Where was Rui? Sitting on the bench,
Yeah.
right? So I think right now it is more player than coach, but I think over time as he gets better and gets more experience, we'll start to see that drift. And now is a great example for J. Now is a great time for JJ to go prove himself as that coach.
That's fair.
coach.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's fair.
What are your thoughts on it?
I definitely do think he's I think he's a good coach, but I also think that like 50 wins in the first 2 seasons, a lot of it does play a part of having Luka, LeBron, and AD. But I do think he's a good coach. And again, this is all on tape. This is the reason why I love Lakers Corner. When JJ Redick got hired, everybody was killing him. I was like, I think he's going to be a good coach. I understand he has no experience, but I know he's in the NBA. I know he played in the NBA for a long time, so he's a player's coach, and that's what coaches need nowadays. Teams don't operate under those tyrant type coaches where it's like, you listen to me because you're less than me and because I'm the coach and get on the line. And that shit does not work anymore. Like, players get paid way too much money. Like, their ego is out of the world. Like, you have to, hey, we're here. Yeah, I'm here to help you. You're here to help me. We're here to help each other. Players coach. And that's what JJ Redick's been. So I knew he's going to be a good coach. I knew he was smart. The only issue I was going to have is the fact that he was just going to have that learning curve, which, as anybody would. I mean, you could get the smartest man on earth and go and just fill in that position. He'd have a learning curve. So I just wanted to ask you on that. And then the last thing we're going to touch on here, with news and injuries, or I guess it's just something I kind of want to toot my own horn here. Lakers, clinching that top six seed. Again, told y'all, and it's on tape at the beginning of the season. I told y'all Lakers would finish at best in the 4th seed, no worse than the 6th seed. And so many people try to kill me. So many people were trying to talk about the Timberwolves and the Rockets and OKC and again, I said 3 teams I don't want to touch: OKC, Rockets. OKC, Spurs, Denver. That's it. Anybody else, I'm cool with, and I still feel that way. So just want to go ahead and stand on our 10 toes here and just let y'all know, come on, man, mess with Lakers Corner. We giving y'all great content.
It's all here. You want knowledge? You just gotta listen to Lakers Corner, and it's all right here. And when it happens 6, 7, 8 months down the line, you know where you heard it first.
Come on, man. Come on. All right, Jenner, let's get to our games. We're going to be recapping the 3 games that we saw here this week. First game that we saw was on March 30th. We saw the Wizards versus the Lakers. Lakers won 120-101. No Luka Dončić because he was serving that 1 game suspension for his 16 tech. Lakers got out to that 6-0 start, forced the Wizards some early turnovers. We took control of the game, and then the Wizards came back and went on their run, even took the lead. And then I was thinking, like, damn, we're going to play down to our opponent's levels, like how we do sometimes. And then, boom, we had an amazing second quarter, outscored them 40-18. Started the second quarter on that 14-2 run. And realistically, after that point, we never lost the lead. Hayes was huge in that game. He ended up with 19 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. And the reason why I say he's huge is because, you usually don't get a 19-point game from Hayes. So to get that unexpectedly huge, LeBron led the way for us with triple-double, 21 points, 12 assists, 10 rebounds. AR, 19 points, 9 assists. He put on a masterclass playmaking in that first half. And the biggest takeaway for me, Junior, on this game is, you love to see everybody stepping up, right? No Luka Dončić. LeBron gets a triple-double. AR has a big game. Hayes has a big game. We had a lot of players who had big games here against the Wizards, but I don't have too many takeaways because it's against the Wizards. So I don't hold too much stock on that. That's really all I got to touch on with the Wizards game. I don't know if you have any thoughts.
No, I agree with you. Like, for example, if I was playing the Wizards and I dropped 83 points, I don't even think it would count. To be
real
honest.
Shit. Come on.
I don't even think it will count. Like, if I have 46 free throws that game, I don't even think it would count. I just
I'm gonna clip that up. Damn.
But no. So the thing is with the Wizards, the Lakers love to play down to their competition. I hate it. My dear beloved team of my heart, Corinthians, is the same thing. Doesn't matter who we're playing, we play down to the freaking level of the competition, and it's tough sometimes. But I love that they woke up, it kicked in. Because at first I was like, man, bro, don't tell me that no Luka is the difference between us beating the Wizards. Like that was gonna solidify his MVP case. But I was like, I don't care. I don't care if Luka gets an MVP. Like I need to put that on wax first. No. I care about the title. I care about the title above all else. I don't think a title.
I just feel like and I want you to continue. I just want to say something real quick. I heard somebody saying on Lakers Fast Break the other day. It's like as if you're driving down the street and you just like see maybe not your friend because we're not friends with Luka, but somebody just getting absolutely robbed, like just getting
it was a Assad that said that, right?
Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was Assad. Oh, my boy Assad. Exactly. Like gun to the face. Like, give me that. And that's wrong.
You got to step up.
You got to step up, bro. Like, and it's kind of how
I
feel in this situation. That's why.
Let me walk that back a little bit. When I say I don't care, it's not that I don't care. I think he deserves to be MVP, and I think any other is just wrong. Anything else is just wrong. Let's just call it how it is. But the reality, when I say that I don't care about him getting MVP, is these individual accolades. Look, I've been a Lakers fan my entire life, and I'm so used to just the media absolutely robbing Lakers players of MVP. Kobe had 1 fucking MVP his entire career, bro. Mm-hmm. Kobe, who's in my opinion a top 5 player of all time, if not top 3. Mm-hmm. Right? He got 1 MVP his whole career. So at this point, like I think it's just I'm honestly like I'm past that. I know that there's Lakers tax when it comes to a lot of things, and non-Lakers fans love to say it's favoring the Lakers, but most of the time Lakers tax is against the Lakers. Yeah. So I'm not concerned with MVP at this point. Maybe that's probably why I kind of don't care much for it, because I feel like they're probably just going to give it to Wembanyama. They're probably just going to give it to Nikola Jokic or Shea again or something, when realistically it should be Dončić. It is Dončić, but what I really care about is us getting as far as we can in the playoffs. And I mean, honestly, I want to win the title. I know this team isn't the best team in the West. I know this team probably isn't set up for a title, but that's what I'm aiming for every single year. And it's why, like, I'm not putting a lot of weight in the MVP race. But I agree. No, it's a robbery if he doesn't win the MVP. But at this point, it's like, I guess, to add on to Assad's story, you're like, if you come by, you see somebody with a gun to Luka's face, and I'm just like, sometimes I want to help, but then sometimes I'm like, damn.
I don't want to get shot.
It's Luka again. It's another Laker getting fucking robbed. And I just keep on driving.
You're just like, damn, I'm tired of seeing that.
Man, no, it's like, man, I stepped up last time, and the time before that, Why do they keep doing this to the Lakers, man? No, it's So I'm sorry, I got a little weeds there with the Wizards, but
Wizards talk about with the Wizards anyway.
Yeah, Wizards. A win is a win. You can only play who's in front of you, and I like it that we took care of business.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at with that.
I love it. I love it. I respect it. So then let's get to the second night of a back-to-back. This was against a little bit more of a formidable opponent against the Cavs. We beat the
More
Cavs.
formidable opponent, but we treated them like the Wizards.
We treated them like the Wizards, exactly. Beating them 127-113. Like I said, second night of a back-to-back. Luka's back. And guess what? He was not on the second night of a back-to-back. The Lakers were, but Luka wasn't. So he was rested and erupted for 42 points, 12 assists. But it wasn't just him. AR at 19, Aiden had 18 and 9, LeBron had 14, Laravia had 14, Rui came off the bench with 14. As a team, we shot 54% from the field and 45% from the three-point line. For me, the biggest takeaway from this game is just this is how we need to play come playoffs. Like
100%.
We took care of the ball, which is most importantly. I think we had like 9 turnovers. So I think we averaged like almost 14. We had like 9 turnovers. We took care of the ball. We dominated the glass. We played good defense. We held Donovan Mitchell and James Harden under 20. But to hold one player of that caliber under their average is like the thing. Like NBA players talk about, if you can hold another star player under their average, like that's it right there. Like you just won the game. In theory, in the defensive wise, and we held
the game within the game
and James Harden to under their average. And guess what? Most of all, this is a real playoff team. Like the Cavs are sitting in the 4th seed, the East, but still sitting in the 4th seed. And
the East is better this year now. Look at the Warriors. They got a losing record. They're in their play-in, and the 10th seed, the Hornets.
Wow, I didn't even peep that.
I peeped that the other day, and I was like,
for the longest my whole life, it's just always been the West, but.
No, the East was nice when we were kids. The East was nice when we were kids.
So talk to me. So then talk. I mean, do you have any takeaways? Because my takeaway is like, this is how we need to play. Like, this is the standard I'm holding us to. And if we play anything below this, it's kind of hard to accept it because it's like, I've seen you do better.
Yeah. So that's exactly my stance as well, is that we have. This is exactly the contribution we need come playoffs. It's Luka going for 40. It's everybody pitching in. You said 18 from Aiden, 14, I think, from Rui, 14 or 18 from Rui, 14 from Laravia. It's just like everyone's contributing. LeBron, if everyone is contributing, Austin, of course, everyone is contributing. Like, this is exactly what we need. I know we're going to get to this a little bit later, but when we start talking about playoffs a little bit more, and was one thing that you brought up, which was what worries me the most about the Lakers in the playoff, and we'll get more in depth into it later, but I can answer that question right now. That question is depth, and I think that we showed great depth against the Cavs today. When we played them earlier this week, we showed great depth against them, because that's really what we need. It's guys coming off the bench being able to contribute. It's getting contributions from more than just Luka, LeBron, or Luka and AR, or a little Luka and then a little of LeBron and a little of AR. Like, we need that contribution from everybody. So I thought that was awesome. That's exactly how we need to play. Earlier this season, and we talked about this before when I was on the show earlier this year. I think the very first one that we did together this season, and JJ said something that stuck with me the whole season. He says there are, two things, but the first thing is about the wins. He says there are benchmark wins that we have, wins that you look back and say, this is exactly how we need to play. And we've had a couple throughout the season. This is the most recent one that we've had. And realistically, without Luka for the rest of the season, this is going to be the latest one we have, probably until the playoffs, where it's a benchmark win. This is how we played. This is how we need to play. And it was against a good opponent. And I know when we were talking about the Cavs result, I said we treated them like the Wizards. And that 127 and 113 result doesn't seem like that much. But if you watch the game, we were dogging them pretty much the whole game. It got to the end, like the last, most of the fourth quarter was garbage time. Which closed the score in a little bit, but we were dogging them the whole game. And that's really how we need to play against teams that are in the, good teams, quality teams, playoff teams. Like, dogging the Wizards is one thing. Dogging the Cavs is a whole nother thing, So I love to see that. I thought we did great. And it was a great win. And just a quick side note, the second thing JJ said that stuck with me, our losses are louder than any other team, but we'll get to that at another point.
That is absolutely true.
Actually, great transition to OKC.
I was going to say that is absolutely true, because they are still talking about this loss, because damn, this was really bad. We lost to OKC 139-96. I mean, shit, there's nothing really to touch on the game. Like I said, they started the game on a 9-2 run, forced in the first 3 minutes, forced into 3 turnovers, and they were a step ahead of us defensively. They were 10 steps ahead of us
Offensively,
offensively. They couldn't miss.
mentally,
Lou Dort had went off for 3 of them that first quarter. I mean, there's no point in talking about the game. They literally popped us that we didn't even get in. Like we didn't. The only thing we made is a 10-point game at any point. Like I said, 139.
and that's when it was 12-2.
Literally, right? It was 12-2 when it was a 10-point game. And then, I mean, I guess the only thing I do want to touch on with this is, so I've seen some people say like when Luka first got hurt, like at first in the game, like in that first half, like before he really went out, like remember when he was just holding his leg and he was just like in the AR, he got hurt too. More specifically with Luka, do you feel like maybe JJ Redick should have took him, because we were already losing by 30 at that point.
Yeah.
We were already losing by 30 and we already saw what he was. And I don't know if this is just me, and this might be just me because I have watched so much basketball, but not every single time, but sometimes if I could watch a game, especially the Lakers, and I just see how we playing, I'm like, yeah, this not gonna be the one right here. And I felt that early with Luka, like, and we were watching the game together. Remember that one where he had that wide open 3, pump fake, got the defender, took a fly through, and then he got a wide open 3, and it just wasn't there. Like it just wasn't his day. And by then we were already losing by 30. He got hurt. He had that started hobbling on his leg. Do you feel like you should have made a executive call and took him out or not?
I don't think so. I think hindsight is 2020. We look back now, of course, what's up?
I said, yeah, hindsight is always 2020.
Yeah. Hindsight is 2020. And actually have this Lakers Focus 2020 shirt from the 2020 season opener. And it's supposed to be like the optometry test here, but because it's 2020. But no, I say hindsight is 2020, and it's easy. I always talk like literally anytime something like this happens, I think about like Derrick Rose, right? Like, it's like that's the most extreme example. And I think to myself, like, man, like hindsight is 2020 on that man's like career, unfortunately, But with Luka, no, because look, I think what was it like the third quarter that he got hurt?
No, he got hurt in the third quarter where he went like out, but he started hobbling in that first half.
Yeah, I see, but like imagine then JJ takes him out, then he doesn't play like the whole second half. He's gonna get killed for that. In reality, like they're gonna be like, why'd you take Luka out in the second quarter? If anything, too, like another thing is like it's reps against a good team, which we're gonna need for the playoffs anyway. That's true. So like me being the coach, I wouldn't even have taken it unless Luka's like, because Luka was hobbling in the first. Yeah. Like, hey man, are you okay? Like, if you're feeling even a little bit, then let's not risk it. But if he's feeling fine, like even if we're getting popped, I mean, I really wouldn't have taken him out until like sometime middle of the fourth when it's just like actually impossible, right?
I just wanted to get your thoughts on that because I heard somebody say that and I was like, you know what, it's a kind of a good point, just because like we were already down by 30 at that point, but
imagine he takes him out. The media would have been like, bro, why did you take Luka out in the third quarter? And we knew we were going to lose.
Yeah, even if you say that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. And now that's a crazy thing to say. Yeah, that's true. Actually, once I say this too, it was not the good move for JJ.
So I wouldn't have taken him out, but I mean, fuck, knowing what I know now, dude, I wouldn't even have had him play the game because Austin too. Remember Austin? He had something in his side. Yeah, and it's you see that there was a shot that Lou Dort hit that he couldn't even challenge. You could see he's like barely reaching over, like grimacing and stuff. So I'm just like, if I knew what I knew, I wouldn't have played him. But I think with having having this the way things played out, like you couldn't have done anything different,
Okay, all right, brother. So then let's get to that is all the games we recap. So let's get to our last segment of the show, which is just it's called Playoff Questions. It's actually the first time we're doing this segment here on Lakers Corner. So first time, debuting here. I got some questions here for you, all like NBA playoff related. Some of them will have some like options like A, B, or C or whatever, but some will just kind of be, fill in the blank or not fill in the blank, but you say whatever your answer is. But let's go ahead and get into it. I want to start with the first playoff question is how dangerous are the Lakers? And I got 3. How dangerous are the Lakers in the playoffs? I'm going to say that one more time. How dangerous are the Lakers in the playoffs? And I got 3 options here for you. It's contender, it's dark horse, or just another playoff team.
Dark horse. Dark horse for the title. Like
absolutely. Yeah, right.
dark horse for the title, like not dark horse to like get out of the first round.
Yeah, no,
right?
for sure.
I mean, it all depends now with Luka. That's the thing that's tough.
Right.
It's like, when is Luka coming back? What version of Luka is coming back? Like, not that he's not going to be balling, but like, is he going to be on a minutes restriction? Like, there's a lot of variables. This injury just nuked what, like, like the idea of like, or at least any idea or semblance of what we think we're going to get with the Lakers in the playoffs right now. But I say dark horse for the title. Like, I think San Antonio, OKC, and Denver, I think they're on their own tier right now as like the best teams in the West. I think right under there sits the Lakers, the Rockets, and the Wolves, which are in the second tier. And I think the Lakers are the best of those three teams. And then I think everybody, so it goes contender, dark horse, because that same way, like, I mean, the freaking Timberwolves went to the conference finals last year.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like contender, those three teams, dark horse, the next three teams, and then just another playoff team is everybody else under that, which is going to be the last two teams that make it in. Okay. Basically the play-in teams, pretty much. That's kind of where it's at, like including the Suns. I don't think the Suns are even a dark horse.
Gotcha.
So I have them as dark horse, but that does include Luka Dončić.
Yeah, absolutely. Your best player.
However, and I'm going to put this on wax already, so if I'm right, I want my flowers. If I'm wrong, then I'll take the slander for it. I think with a favorable matchup, the Lakers can get out of the first round even without Luka Dončić. I'll put it on wax right now. Even without Luka, I think we can get out of the first round.
That'd be a tough one.
I think it's going to hinge on LeBron and AR taking that next step up, obviously. And I want to get into AR. First, I want you to answer that same question about where you feel the Lakers sit. But I want to get into AR a little bit later because I've got a lot of thoughts about Austin Reaves and this playoff time. But tell me a little bit. Give me some feedback.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think they're dark horse just because we're not just any. Actually, again, predicated on Luka Dončić being there, because with Luka Dončić being there, I really feel good about it. Like I said, any team in the West except Denver, except OKC, and except San Antonio. Without Luka, I don't know if I can. I don't know if we can beat the Timberwolves, to be honest, because right now when the Timberwolves are in a 6th seed, we're in that 3rd seed. So if Luka didn't play in the first round, I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think we could beat any of these teams
without
Luka, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Truthfully, because I need to see what version of Austin Reaves we're gonna get.
Yeah.
I need to see what version of DeAndre Ayton we're gonna get. I need to see if Hayes is gonna get played off the court. Like, these are all things that like really matter. And then also, even to your point earlier, remember you were saying like DA dropped off because DA is gonna drop off because Luka's gonna be on. Hayes is gonna drop off because Luka's gonna be gone. So like, even if we do get a good version of DA, we're not going to get the best version of DA because the best version of DA is Luke when Luka's out there with them. Same for Hayes. So I would disagree to say I don't think we could beat any of these teams in the first round without Luka Dončić. But with Luka Dončić, man, we're dark horse to go to the Western Conference Finals. We'll shoot if luck's on our way, and you never pray on injury nobody, but like luck's on our way. If OKC gets a little injured, I mean they have to get a lot injured, but OKC gets a lot injured, and like when
they gotta not show up.
I mean, they gotta just like they're playing, you got to like crash or something but Wemby, like if he were to get injured, then like I think it becomes a totally different thing, right? So sorry. So I say that to say if Wemby gets injured, yes, like wow, we have a potential to, the Lord's on our side. We can go win a championship, even though this team's not championship ready. But if injuries on our side, Wemby's hurt or something like that, we can go win a championship. But for OKC, they're like starting 5 would have to be hurt for us to win, to be honest.
But, no. OKC, I think we're gonna have to somehow. OKC is gonna have to run into the Spurs, which is not gonna happen actually until the conference finals because they're the 1st and 2nd seed. So that's not going to happen. I think it would have to be something where they would just have to get they would have to go through a tough first round matchup, which I don't think anybody that's the 8th seed is not going to be a tough matchup for the Thunder. So they'll smack them. They're going to have to somehow get Denver. Denver's going to have to beat them down in 7-game series. And then maybe we can, then maybe we can see about potentially beating them. But I just don't think. I think they're so far above everyone, and honestly, including the Spurs. I think they're gonna give anybody the work.
Yeah,
Not just like
yeah.
not just like, oh, they'll barely beat the Spurs. Like, I think you're gonna give anybody the work.
You know what's crazy,
Anybody.
bro? I'm still standing. Again, I was right last year at the beginning of the year. Last year, I said OKC would win a championship, but this year I said that Denver would win. And honestly, I'm gonna continue to stand on it. Just
Yeah.
because I really do believe that in the 7-game series, this Denver team's gonna be a tough one to beat if they're fully healthy, because they are literally better than when they won the championship. They brought back Bruce Brown. They brought in they finally have a backup big and Dario Saric and Jonas Valanciunas. They got rid of Michael Never Swing Porter, the guy who just always gets up shots, and replaced him with
But that guy was a fucking microwave against the Lakers.
Oh,
every game, bro.
Yeah, but and then so they replaced Michael Porter with Cam Johnson, someone who just can swing the rock a little bit more, and he's just a better role player. And then most of all, like Bruce Brown was the reason, not the reason, but one of the biggest X factors as to why they won the championship. So to bring him back is huge. And again, like, this is just, it's a 7-game series. 7-game series are played way different than the regular season. So, I'm gonna continue to stand on it. I continue to stand on that. I think Denver could fuck around with a championship. I'll be honest, but it'll be hard to see though.
I honestly,
about what you can say with AR though.
I will. It's like, I just want to weigh in on Denver. I agree that they're nice, but if we somehow end up like between seeing the Spurs, between seeing the OKC Thunder or the Nuggets, I kind of just want to see the Nuggets. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I want to see the Nuggets, because we just keep fucking seeing them. It's like every season we somehow see the Nuggets, and I think I'd rather play against, the saying, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, and it's just like at this point, like, I know OKC is just on a different stratosphere. I don't know the Spurs that much. We've just started playing. I mean, I'm saying, when I say I mean the Lakers, right? Like this is a new wave Spurs team. I mean, they were ass last year, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is a new wave Spurs team. Wembanyama's just taking another step up. And I'm gonna say we don't have an answer to Wembanyama, but nobody has an answer for Wembanyama, right? Yeah. So I feel like Denver, at least we know there are games that we've won, and like, I don't care. I'm gonna sound like a Lakers fan here. I don't care, honestly. The season that we got swept by them was like the closest sweep I've seen in my life. Do you remember we were winning every single game at halftime?
Yep, and then they came back. We
came back in a lot of the times we're leading it in the third. Yeah. And like going into the fourth, we're leading the game, and they would just, because it was closed the whole time. But like, and we got swept. There ain't no two ways about it. I'm not saying, if this we would have won. It's not like that. We got swept. There's no alternate reality. But that was the closest fucking sweep I've seen in my life, right? Like, every game was just like we were winning with like 5 minutes left, and then they came back and ended. And that's just because they were the better team. But I would rather play Denver than any of those other two teams, just because I feel like, if any, I mean, we saw what we just beat them recently. Yep. We just beat them a few weeks ago, and because we're able to contain Jamal Murray, right? So it's like, there are ways to game plan against Denver, and we've been playing them so many times that I think there's a way to kind of get acclimated. It's been, I'm not gonna say a rivalry, but low key, like a mini series. Like, we kind of go, I feel like we go at it with Denver every year, pretty much, right? Yeah. So I think if we somehow ended up in that matchup with Luka, of course, without Luka, just it's a wrap. I'm not so anti playing Denver, I guess, as you are, or as most Lakers fans are.
Okay. All right.
Talk about Austin Reaves.
Yep. No, I was going to ask you, well, because my next question was, who's going to be the biggest X factor come playoffs? Is that kind of,
it's Austin Reaves?
Okay,
Austin
there
Reaves.
You go.
Yeah, we're on that wavelength. We already know where we're going with it.
Yep.
That's that brother connection right there. So here's what I'm going to say about Austin Reaves. And I said this last year. We could pull up the episodes from last year, and I said the same thing. Austin Reaves has been getting better and better every season, but he is yet to deliver in the playoffs. He was not. He disappeared from the playoffs 2 years ago completely. That was his first season. He was good. So I'm like, I cut him some slack. It's his first season. The lights are brighter in the playoffs. The rotations get smaller. The minutes get heavier. It's more intense. It's different basketball. Best basketball there is in the playoffs. Playoff basketball is different. He shrunk. He shrunk his first year. next season comes around, which is last season. I'm like, all right, Austin, like now we've, you were good you were good 2 years ago through the season, didn't show up in the playoffs. Last season, he had a good season again, didn't show up in the playoffs. And it hurt us. It hurt us last season when he just disappeared. And I'm like, damn, Austin, like I feel like he could be one of them ones, but he's just not showing up in the playoffs. This season, like, if he doesn't show up in the playoffs this season, I'm not saying trade him, get rid of him, but it's going to be a big telling factor because I was like, some players just aren't cut for it. Some players are just regular season players, and I'm not saying Austin that I don't want Austin to be that, but he hasn't proven himself in the playoffs yet. I literally have no basis to say, Austin, you're a great playoff player because he just hasn't been that. Yeah. And this season, he's the absolute X factor, especially if we're going to be missing Luka with some time. Like, I'm not going to put it on LeBron's 41-year-old shoulders to say, hey, LeBron, I need you to pick up all of the slack that we're not going to have, that's going to be missing without Luka. Like, I can't ask that of him. I trust LeBron more than I trust AR right now because LeBron's proven in the playoffs for 23 years, right? AR hasn't proven in the playoffs at all yet. So I trust LeBron more than I trust Luka, but I can't ask of LeBron to do this, especially when this whole year has been, LeBron, we need you to reduce your role. We need you to do things a little bit different. Like this whole year, you notice how LeBron's role is reducing more and more and more. I'm not going to say reducing, but the load on him has been reducing. Yeah. We're asking LeBron to do less, which is perfect, which is exactly what I want. I don't want the entire team riding on a 42-year-old player, right? Yep. Who he literally said the other day, he wakes up and he's questionable, right? Like that's how he says that's how it's like to be 42 or 41 or however old he is, 41. Right? So it's just like he says like that's what it's like to
go to sleep available and wake up questionable,
right? So it's stuff like that. So like Austin is absolutely that X factor. Like I need Austin to show why we need to pay him a bag this season, why he needs to get paid. Like he doesn't get paid because he plays well in the regular season, man. He needs to get paid because he carried it in the playoffs. Right now, everything is lining up. Like this Luka injury sucks, but for Austin, he needs to be salivating. He needs to be chomping at the bits for this opportunity to be the number one scoring option on the team because he really can be. He's going to share that load with LeBron, but he really can be the number one scoring option on that team, and he's got the ability to do it. That's the best thing. I know he's got the ability, but can he do it in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's honestly going to be really tough for Austin Reaves, and I honestly think yes, I do think he should be salivating at the mouth, but I also think that in a way, I mean, maybe this is the wrong mindset to have, but he should kind of be like, fuck, like because now he is getting number one. Like player on our team, defensive attention. Like
why would it be like fuck? I think it should be
thrilled. because now instead of a defense worrying about Luka and mainly locking on Luka and you just
locking on him.
Shots, like I'm saying you just happen to be open because the defense is just so locked in on Luka because that's the game plan.
Yeah.
Sometimes these teams literally say like we'll live with that. Like we'll live with that shot. Like we will live with him shooting that. We'll live with him taking Luka. That as long as we're here. Like especially with great players. And for Austin Reaves, it's like, oh hell yeah, I'm getting more open looks. I'm getting easier looks. But now a defense team is coming in. Okay, Luka's not playing. So everything we're scouting, we got a whole Bible big book that's how to stop Austin Reaves. So so then as a player, it's like damn, and he knows that because they're doing the same thing for the other team's best player. Let's say we play Anthony Edwards. They got a whole book as big as the Bible with everything Anthony Edwards likes to do, whether he likes to go left, whether he likes to do that. We're gonna box in with him. We're gonna live with Rudy Gobert being outside. So we're even when we're doubling Anthony Edwards, let's double off Rudy Gobert. So we're even if the ball goes over there, we're not worried. We're not now running over there. And that's what I'm saying. They're going to do the same thing if Luka doesn't play, but with AR. So instead of, them being like, we're going to box in one Luka or we're going to have two on Luka. And if Austin Reaves gets open shot in the corner, fuck it. Austin Reaves gets open shot in the corner. But now it's boxing one on Austin Reaves, who already has been struggling in the playoffs to like how you were saying, right? And he's been struggling in the playoffs with not number one type of guy attention, right? Like every number 3 type of guy attention. He's been struggling. Every playoff series he's been in has been, mainly LeBron or Luka or AD who's been like a 1 or 2 guy
1-2.
that defenses are like locked in on. Now they're going to be locked in on this guy as if a number 1 or even as if a number 2. Let's say let's focus in on LeBron and let's kind of like let AR be like the second guy we
worst case he's number 2. Yeah,
but still that's still the most he's ever got of attention
for sure. I agree with that, like 100%. But I think if Austin Reaves is saying "fuck, this is gonna suck,"
that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's a bad mindset. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's a bad mindset. But I'm just being real though. Like that's just reality. Yeah, I agree. Austin Reaves should like, oh yeah, I'm ready to get to it. But shit, I'm sure he had the same mindset of I'm ready to get to it when he was the 3rd option. And now he has the same mindset. Oh, I'm ready to get to it. But now getting to it is going to be a lot more difficult than when it was. And you couldn't do it when you were the 3rd option. So are you like, have you gotten that much better that now you're able to overcome, what I'm saying, being a defense's main priority?
In his mind, the answer needs to be yes.
Yeah.
And he needs to go out there and I agree with you. I agree. It's going to get tougher for him. It's going to get tougher. He's going to get more attention. He's going to get more opportunity too. Because that's another thing. Who was it? Jackson Hayes. That I was like, man, Jackson Hayes thrives coming off the bench, right? Because when you have him in a starting role, he got played off the court. And the reason for that too is just not just because of, certain defensive liabilities as a big, but also it's just because you're a starter, you're going to get more touches, you're going to get more opportunities. And if your averages are low, you're just going to miss more shots. That's just the reality of it, right? So like now he's going to get more touches, he's going to get more shots. Austin Reaves going to get more touches, more shots. Like he's going to have the opportunity to show why he deserves to get paid. And there's a lot of talk too. Like, I don't know, I'm sure you've heard it, but is Austin Reaves good enough to be a number 1 option on another team? Is Austin Reaves good enough to be a number 2 option on another team? Or is he just in that Lakers mold and he can just only work as a 3rd option? Like, because I've put this on wax and I'd have to revisit the whole league before I put this on wax again. But I was comfortable saying this earlier. Austin Reaves is the best 3rd option in the game. There is no better 3rd option than Austin Reaves. I could probably go through the roster and maybe find a better 3rd option out, go through the league. I don't know. But is he ready?
I don't know, but I don't know if you would find a better 3rd. I don't think
I know it's tough.
Any other 3rd option that scored 50 this year.
Yeah, exactly. I know him and Luka are like the best backcourt in the league, right? And I know it's like Luka doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but it's like, but that's Austin is a good player, and I think that. Yeah, it honestly comes down to that. Like, it's a mix of what you said and what I said. Like, he's going to get more attention. He's going to be the number 2 guy at worst, and he's going to get that sort of attention. But also, like, this is time for him to lock in and get it done.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, like, not like the Lakers are going to let him walk, but he's not getting a bag if he flops in the playoffs again. Or at least I wouldn't give him a bag.
I don't think any team would. Yeah.
No, because it's just like. Now this is the 3rd opportunity that he's had to go and deliver in the playoffs. Hasn't delivered yet in the playoffs so far. Granted, he was early in his career. Let's see it now, because if it doesn't happen now, when is it going to happen? I mean, he's just going to keep getting better and be a regular season player.
Who wants that? Yeah, who wants?
Okay, great. Get us a good record. Maybe we get good seeding, but like for you to disappear in the playoffs, like I mean, and it's not like he's like. I'm talking about him getting a bag, but it's not like he's on a vet minimum either, right? Like you're paying at least 25 to 30 million for a guy like Austin Reaves.
Yeah,
I'm not paying 25 to 30 million to have a gaping hole in the playoffs. Like that's terrible. And at least like we talked about, he's got defensive liabilities too. Like if he was a dog on defense or something like that, like that's something. But like no, like he's not one dimensional, but he's primarily an offensive player.
Yeah, I mean, I need to
see that happen.
Yeah, I think
I
think like how you said, to sum it up great, is that Austin Reaves is going to get the most attention he's ever gotten in the playoffs without Luka being there, and let's see if he's able to handle it. But all right, brother,
who do you think is the X factor?
Austin Reaves, absolutely got to be Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves and DeAndre Ayton. But
I was going to say there's a case for DA as well.
Yeah. But it's got to be
it really is on Reaves. This is like it's like Austin. This is the 3rd playoffs now. I need you to perform. There's no more slack after this.
Yeah, no, if he doesn't perform, that could definitely affect how much money he gets. But all right, let's get to our last two playoff questions here. I know you answered this a little bit earlier, but what worries you most about the Lakers coming into a playoff series?
Depth.
Is that
Like 100%. And when you sent me the questions, I was like, man, like as soon as I didn't even finish the sentence, depth,
mm,
like because that's literally what got us last year. And with Luka, with AR, with LeBron, with Marcus Smart, with Bree Hachimura, with DeAndre Ayton, with Jackson Hayes, with Luke Kennard, with guys like that, there's those are guys that I think are going to get playoff minutes for sure. Everybody else after that, it's hit or miss. I might be forgetting somebody, but I think those are like the main guys that come to mind when I'm thinking about
I mean, like Luka
who's
Nard?
who. Yeah, no, I said Kennard.
Oh, okay.
Like who's getting minutes. Like there's guys beyond that probably aren't going to get that many minutes, right? So if we could get one more guy that isn't in that top 8 that I just named to step up, right?
Mhm.
That makes a world of difference. That makes a world of difference. Hey, it's not going to be Bronny James. It's not going to be Dalton Connect. It's not
Yeah,
going to be Drew Timmy. It's not going to. So I mean, I'd love it if it was all of them,
yeah,
but what I'm saying is like that's what makes a difference. Oklahoma is like 10, 11 good players deep. It's
yeah,
crazy.
crazy.
They have literally, like I said, they have like 8 Marcus Smarts on their team.
Yeah,
And it's just like, and it's just like that's the difference between winning a championship or not is depth. Because the rotations get shorter in the playoffs. We know this, right? So it's like I don't need 13 guys that can ball the lights out. Like, but 8 is like low key damn near the minimum. And
yeah,
that's like everybody has to stay healthy. Everybody needs to be balling. And that just realistically just doesn't happen. Like when Rui Hachimura is on, Marcus Smart might be off. When Luke Kennard is on,
yeah,
Marcus Smart might be off, or
yeah.
Jackson Hayes might be on, and DeAndre Ayton off, and vice versa, right? Like
Mhm.
when these guys are on, like not, it's tough for everybody to be on at the same time. Like it's just the reality of it. So having depth allows you to cycle some players that, oh, he's off, it's okay because we have somebody that can fill in. Or for example, when if Marcus Smart, I'm just going to use an example here. Let's say Marcus Smart is off, and
Mhm.
we bring in Rui to fill in that starter role. But then Rui is so, and Luke Kennard is so. Instead of having men like now, let's say we just take out all of Marcus Smart's minutes and we allocate him to Rui, but Rui's not doing so good. Like if you could spread it out, give Rui a little bit, give Luke Kennard a little bit, play some more Jackson Hayes minutes in the big role. Like it's stuff like that. Like if you have the depth, you can kind of tinker, and plus favorable matchups too.
Yeah,
You can tinker things to matchups. I mean, I'm gonna go to the 2020 season. Remember how we played against the Nuggets? And then remember how he played against everybody else, how he played against the Rockets, how he played against the Trailblazers. Like it depended on how we were playing. We played Twin Towers matchup against the Nuggets, and that was the key, right? That was JaVale and Dwight Howard. So it's stuff like that. Like you can tinker, and for that you need depth. And I think that's just something the Lakers don't have, and most teams don't have. But the
yeah,
best teams, the championship winning teams, that's what they have. So we need to figure out a way to, to kind of either get depth. I mean, it can't be by addition at this point. So it needs to be a way to just get players to work out, get players to kind of play their roles to a T. And this is where JJ as a coach is going to be able to come in and kind of make a difference there.
yeah. I
So
like that.
depth, I think, is the biggest worry for me. What about you?
I'm going with defense, particularly
Yeah,
backcourt,
that's a good one too.
particularly backcourt defense, just because if you look in the East and in the West, all teams that are gonna potentially be contenders, dark horse, or anything of relevancy, they have an elite backcourt. The
Yeah,
Pistons, the Celtics, the Knicks, the Cavs. I know we just held the Cavs backcourt to under 20, but I can't expect we hold Donovan Mitchell and James Harden under 20 for a whole playoff series. The Hawks kind of do, but not really, I guess. I mean, we would never play the Sixers or the Raptors or anything like that. But like, let's go to the West, right? OKC has an elite backcourt. San Antonio has an elite backcourt. Denver has, I mean, Jamal Murray turns into like God when he plays against us. So like the Denver, Houston, I wouldn't say they have an elite backcourt, but just having a player like Kevin Durant, which I know we did a really good job of playing against him.
just double them. That was the
Double.
key. We
Yeah,
didn't know this for 17 years, but that was the key.
right. Just double him. But essentially, I say that to say that like if we want to win a championship, we're gonna have to get through these, top teams that I listed in the West or the East, and we don't have it getting real good backcourt defense. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that gets exposed for NBA teams, like in come playoffs, because like you just
Yeah.
the games are just played so much differently, and then which is one thing I don't like, and then when come playoffs, it's like now players that you're relying on all season literally cannot be out there. Like they just cannot be out there, or else you're gonna be playing 4-on-5, and
Yeah.
you don't want to play 4-on-5, which is part of the reason that JJ had to play 5 players that last year.
Yeah.
Also part of the reason I know you mentioned like those A players are gonna play. Like depending on how this plays, like I think Hayes can get played off the court. Like depending on
Yeah.
who we play,
Like he did last season.
So then that 8 goes to 7.
Yeah.
I mean, I think DA is going to have to play regardless, even if he is kind of getting played off the court. He's going to have to play because he's I guess, just the
Only center we have left after.
Yeah, I guess the only center. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why for me, like my biggest concern is the defense. I know we play good team defense, but again, the reason why I say is that like playoffs, it's really important about dominating your particular matchup, and like our backcourt matchup can't dominate anybody. So it's kind of with that.
No, I agree. I think defense is another great point. Like is just being able to actually, get some stops, because you notice like I think for a lot of the time our issue has not been scoring. Luka and Austin Reaves, LeBron is not just he can put the ball in the basket, but he's also a great facilitator that can get the open Rui Hachimura shot, get the open Luka Nard shot, get the alley-oop to Jackson Hayes or to DA. Like, so offense is not a concern for the Lakers. It really isn't. It's all defense, and it's absolutely a big X factor for the Lakers. So there's a lot of question marks that we're gonna find out here in the next couple of weeks.
And then what about the flip side? What gives you the most confidence going into this playoffs here?
Our offense.
Oh, yeah.
I think our offense is good. Like I think we have a good. Like I said, I'm not concerned with us scoring. I think we can run with the best of them when it comes to scoring. It's the defense where the Lakers starts to fall off, because you can score as much as you want. You're not getting stops. It's tough. And you notice the games that we play great. I mean, just like you talked about it, the Cavs, we held Mitchell and Harden to under 20 points. That's good defense. That's why we smacked them. When we played the Rockets, we beat them back to back because we played 2 games back. It wasn't like back to back days, but back to back games. And we literally ran. It was like a little mini playoff series. We ran them. We ran the same thing back and won both games because of that, because we were able to contain Kevin Durant. Right. So it's like the defense is what's making the difference between us winning and losing games, because we're taking care of the scoring. Austin can score the lights out. Luka, I don't even need to get started on that. Literally the league leading. Like you can argue MVP, which again, I don't think is an argument, but you can argue MVP as much as you want. But what I always said this from the clutch talk days: men lie, women lie, numbers don't. He's literally the top scorer of the league. There's no like two ways about it. This man's the top scorer of the league. So scoring is really not a problem. Like I said, LeBron, 3-layer guy. He can distribute and get other guys scoring opportunities. He can score himself. He can score at the rack. He can shoot, like not the lights out, but he's got a shot on him. So it's just like it's stuff like that. Like I feel like scoring is the Lakers' biggest strength, and sometimes like that's why we're the whole thing about like, oh, Lakers are great against teams that are under 500, but not so good against teams that are above 500. And by the way, the narrative is bullshit, and we've already like debunked that. But the reason that was happening is because our defense wasn't so great. So a lot of the times our defense was just scoring more than the opposition. Yeah. And it's easier to do that to sub 500 teams. Just I can go out there and barrage them, just keep barraging the points, and your defense is going to be, I just score more points. That's how I'm going to take care of my defensive issues, right? Yeah. Not as easy to do against greater teams, and that's why you saw the disparity in the play in the results. But I mean, March put that to bed. That was the toughest stretch month, 15-2, and one of them games was a little BS, but 15-2, it's that Detroit game. Yeah, it was 15-2, and that's really the reality of it. Is just we've got offense. Yeah, we need to work on depth. We need to work on defense, and those are the pillars you need to win a title. Is you got to be good at offense, good at defense, have good depth, like everything, right? But it ultimately comes down to being good on both sides of the ball. And I think right now, very strong on one side, weak on the other side.
Absolutely.
Gotta raise this one a little bit. My
Gotta
camera's
raise it.
mirrored, so I'm doing things backwards. But gotta
No,
raise
I
a
hear
little bit
you.
here. But
I
that's
hear
what I
you.
think our biggest strength is. What you got?
Yeah. Honestly, it would have to be our offense. I mean, we can score with the best of them.
I will.
We have like I said, you said earlier, the third option and Austin Reaves. I mean, with Luka being out, he's probably probably second or first, whatever, however you want to break it
Yeah.
down. But third option who can go for 50 points. Like we've had
There is no third option that can go
there is
for
no third
50
option
points.
to go
Like
for 50 points.
unless there's somebody on an expiring contract that's like about to get a bag and be a first
Yeah.
option, or else like some Jalen Brunson stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't even a third option on the Mavericks, but
Yeah,
like
more, yeah.
saying like somebody like that, like, oh, you drafted him, he's a baller, but he's not sticking around, type stuff.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know. We'll check it out after the pod if there's a third option. But putting it on wax right now, there's no better
I don't
third
think
option
there
than
is,
Austin
man.
Reaves.
No, I don't think there is. I know
We
for
don't ride the fence here.
I know for a fact there's no third option that has put up 50 this year, so that's for sure. But
Kevin
man,
Porter Jr. would do something like that.
yeah, he would go off on. But man, Jenner, I appreciate you, bro. We've had a great episode. We touched on a lot, man. We touched on some of the playoffs questions, touched on and recap the games of this week, some injuries, and just kind of where the Lakers stand. But before we get on out of here, brother, do you have any last things you want to say?
No, I am. I'm excited. I think this is like I said, it sucks with Luka. Hopefully he's back. Hopefully he's back in that first round. But if he's not, you know, or even if he comes back partway through the round, like I want to see. I'm excited for Lakers playoff basketball. However it is, you know, like I mean, you remember we were watching games where the Lakers won 17 games all season.
Yeah.
Like any playoff basketball is I'm there, I'm ready, and
Xavier Henry. That's a name right there.
Yeah,
remember Xavier Henry, that lefty?
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, that was those teams are ass. But I'm excited for Lakers playoff basketball, and you know, I got belief in Austin Reaves. I got belief in LeBron. I have to, because if I don't, then I'd be dreading the playoffs, right? So let's let them get to work. Let's get to what we can, and I mean, like I said, try to buy as much time as possible. I think we have 2 weeks until the playoff starts, maybe 2.5 weeks. So it's these 2 weeks that, like, now Luka needs to rest as much as possible, recover as much as possible, and you know, hopefully him being 27 will play to his strength and recover fast. You know, I remember when I was like maybe 26 or 27, I tore my quad. I was back in like 2 weeks, and it was great. So, you know, I also wasn't playing professional basketball, but it's you know, it's something that I think you know, I just got a feeling we're gonna be okay, and you know, hopefully it just depends on the matchup. It just depends on the matchup. And by the way, I think Anthony Edwards is out right now. So
I don't know if he'd be out for the playoffs.
If he's out for the playoffs, that's like
that changes.
If we're playing Minnesota and we're playing without Luka and they're playing without Anthony Edwards, like I think we can get past that, you know. But obviously, if they have Anthony Edwards, it's tougher. But you know, I think it's like the same thing. Houston, they're going to be playing without Fred VanVleet, right? So it's just like everyone's getting injured. We just happen to have the best player in the league get injured. But you know, it's what we got. It's the same thing I said about the Wizards. You can only play who's in front of you, and by the same token, you can only play with the personnel you have available. He's injured. He's injured. What are we going to do? We just got to keep it pushing and go do our best. That's all. That is literally here at Lakers Corner. We not only talk about basketball, we give you keys to life. Key to life. You can only do the best that you can do. That's it.
Your best.
That's it. This is the best that you can do. Is what you can do. That's what you need to do.
I know
it sounds good. That's literally the simplest thing.
There it is, man. Not only basketball advice, but life advice. Jenner, appreciate you, brother. Everybody, y'all go make sure y'all show some love. Subscribe to Lakers Corner. Do 3-minute recaps to our weekly shows. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, as you guys see it, man. But for now, we out here, y'all. Peace.
Peace.